Welcome, one and all. I am greeting you too. Since a shot, I'm G. He is J.
I'm Jay.
I mean, we are back again, ready to bring some madness. It's not March anymore, but we've got brackets. And man, this episode right here is going to entail villains. Who is the best villain of them all? We kind of scurried the land and looked at some atrocious villains, if you will, some heinous villains, and we wanted to build a bracket and find out who we feel are the best. Now, there are some that I have, and there are some that he has, and we're going to compile them on a list, and then just kind of have them go head to head and see who really has the most villainous features to be the most villainous entity of them all.
Yes.
So, without further ado, we're just going to go ahead. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited. We're doing this awesome bracket with villains, and then we got WrestleMania.
Yeah,
Like night one last night was fantastic.
Intense.
It was great.
Cody
Not even
Rhodes
really a bad match. Like everything was great. Like you said, Cody Rhodes, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Stone Cold in Texas.
I mean, stomping a mud hole.
And we got night two, so we're gonna see if they can top.
It's a lot.
What,
it's
a tall task. That's a tall task, but I've been great. I'm super excited to jump in this bracket and see what happens.
All right. So, a lot of this, I feel that he and I are going to have the same exact ones, but then I'm going across the land, if you will, with age to bring a lot of previous villains and bring them up to snuff. But without further ado, it's not even 2 minutes in. Let's go ahead.
Let's go ahead.
Who you got?
So my first one. So when I did all my villains, when I was when I was picking through them, I wanted to only pick villains in games I had played. So just because I didn't want to take the cop out of, I know this person's popular, because there's a lot of villains in game series that I haven't played. And then I can't really make a case for them to move on if I don't really know about them. So I only picked ones from games that I played, and mine are in no particular order. But the first one I came up with was, of course, Zeus from.
Okay, hold on. Go ahead. Tell the crew.
Well, it's just Zeus from God of War series, but I guess 3 if you want to be in particular, when he was the actual boss. So that was my first one.
I do have that on my list.
Okay. These are also, by the way, blind. I don't know if you already said that. We don't know each other's lists. We don't know them. This is the only time so far in this show we've done something where we don't know what the other person did.
So I think that if there's one that you pick, then I'm not going to pick my next one. I'm going to pick something from another series or whatever, or from another game.
Okay.
Because since that's on my list, I don't think it would be fair if I pick technically the first one that came to mind against, your first one that came to mind. I don't think that would be fair. It's kind of like you knocked me out in a sense.
However you want to do it.
So, I'm going to go with Ganon.
Okay.
From Legend of Zelda. Who you got for your number 2?
My second one, again, kind of staying in the same series, was Bulger from the newest.
Oh, wow. I would have thought that you would have picked Freya.
No. I mean, well, because she was kind of like, she wasn't necessarily the villain in 2018 one.
She's not.
She eventually was kind of getting there. Now, in this one coming out this year, I don't know what's about to happen. But no, I mean, in 2018, it was just Baldur. Eventually, Freya kind of was like, all right, I don't like you anymore, Kratos. But
I definitely left her off my list, so I didn't do that. But I picked 2018 Spider-Man, Mr. Lee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was very
good old Martin Lee, Mr. Negative.
Mr. Neg. All right. So who you got next?
My next one was Shang Tsung from the Mortal Kombat.
Oh, that's good.
I thought about it, and I'm like, he's evil, conniving, like he doesn't care, like he's.
My next one is Sephiroth from Final Fantasy.
Okay.
So we go to yours.
Yep. So my next one recently was introduced to him this past summer. It was Dr. Nefarious from Ratchet and Clank.
See, and he's on the list as well. So
okay.
I'm
not gonna be good if you go first. That one that's not on my list because this ain't gonna go well.
I should put Nefarious, not Inferious.
I don't know who that is.
That's his little nephew. So if I were to pick another, I would pick Ridley from Metroid.
Okay.
The beautiful purple dragon.
Rip
people's heads off and whatnot. Your go.
So I did from 2018 Spider-Man, but I did Dr. Octopus.
That's nice.
Oh yeah,
nice.
Otto, Doc Ock, however you want to do that. That's who I picked for my next one.
Ooh, we have a special guest.
Is he here?
He's here. Okay, so I'm going to go. Wow, did I say? No, you said Octo. Okay, so I'm gonna go with Scholar Visceri. He's from Hellgas. He's from Hellgas. He's the leader of the Hellgas on Killzone 2 and 3. So I am going to put that in, and I will be right back. We're making moves.
Yeah. We've got a special guest. He's gonna go grab real fast. So bear with us. If you haven't already, go ahead and like the video, hit that thumbs up, smash it real hard, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, share it with all your friends, let them know about it. We're going to be having awesome content, awesome stuff coming up, where we try to do this weekly, where we come up with things. So, and then play along. Put in the comments, like when we set our matchups. Put who you think would advance in that matchup, or if there's a villain we haven't put in, pick someone in the comments that you think should have been there that we hadn't quite picked. So I don't know what much more to say to try to buy time for him to get here. I hear them talking, so that means they're on their way. We're gonna bide our time momentarily. Noises are getting closer. Well, it's not television.
I don't want to be on YouTube.
Let's make this easier. I'll scoot that one back.
What are y'all talking about?
We're talking about villains, the bad guys. Like so. So we're doing a bracket where we have picked villains. We don't know who each other picked. We came up with a list of 16 each. We don't know who people pick or who the other person picked, and we're putting them in a bracket, and then we're just gonna kind of go from there and see who moves on.
In video games or just PlayStation?
It's all the above.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You'll like it.
That's a big pile of people.
It is.
For some people haven't played every video game, so some people had to be like, who can I pick?
So, who's your next?
Was it mine?
Yeah.
What number were? Oh, my next one was Silas from Horizon. Silas.
Wow. Gotta love this. There we go.
Yeah, spoilers for that one. I'm not done with the second one. So.
I never said I was either.
We aren't.
We are, yeah. We've been doing a lot of wrestling.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
don't know if I would even call it.
So the next one I picked was because it's one of PlayStation's biggest games on the PlayStation 2 is Big Boss.
Okay.
From Sons of Liberty. You played one of your Solid 2.
Oh yeah.
You would say he's
Big
a good
Boss.
villain. Yeah.
My next one, these games were a staple on PlayStation 1, PS2 on through, but it's Dr. Neo Cortex from Crash Bandicoot.
See, it's funny. He went back. I was thinking that, and I was like, he might do that.
It's probably the oldest I went back, so
Yeah, right.
you're gonna be good on older Villains.
So, correct me if I'm wrong. The main villain on Halo is the Graveyard?
Gravemind?
Gravemind. So, because I have that one, I have to come up with another that's going to combat. So it throws because I have Cortex on my list.
So you're like not matching each other, or
Correct.
So like if one of us says one that the other person has,
So
we have to come up with a substitute.
I got you. So because he said Gravemind, if you had Gravemind, you can't say Gravemind.
Right.
Gotcha.
Okay, so my next one was from the Modern Warfare series, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3. It was Makarov. He was like the Russian leader. He was a very non-nice person, to say the least.
And I'm going to go back to Arkham Asylum, which is the Joker.
Okay, first time you've got one on mine. Oh, goodness.
And that's not my main Trump MasterCard that I want to put down. There's one that you'd be like, so.
Okay, well then for the moment I'll have to pull out my other reserve that I have, which is Bowser from Mario. You can't have a villain without Bowser. I mean.
Okay, so since he's my main one that I was going to say, now he's ready. Darth Vader.
Okay, fair enough.
Because, let alone in Jedi Fallen Order, but also in Force Awakens as well. And then
Force Unleashed.
Force Unleashed.
Yes.
And then also in Soul Calibur 4. Like, just deadly.
I did have him on mine, so that was a good one. So one that I told you I didn't think you would see coming is, I believe it was PS3, I picked the, I don't think he had a name, they just called him the Origami Killer from Heavy Rain.
Oh, yep. Yeah. Oof. God. Did he have a name?
Depending on spoilers, yes.
Depending on spoilers, yeah. I mean, that's just what they, like, that's what they call, that's what's, like, his, like, thing. Like, how serial killers have names, that was his.
Yeah. For people that haven't played it, you'd be giving away a big...
Right. Because it's a fantastic game. It is great.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it.
I want to say. I know. It would have been nice if it was one of them that was actually... Like, you could choose which one you play as to actually...
Oh, yeah. Like, depending on what you did, ended up making a particular person.
Exactly. That would have been nice. I'm going to go with the 2020 Miles Morales, the Tinker.
Okay.
Or Tinker.
The Tinkerer. So for my next one, I threw it back to the first GTA I ever played, which was Lance Vance from Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Good old Lance Vance.
Got Lance in my pants. Now I'm taking it totally just dark now. And the one that really got me was Nemesis. Started with Resident Evil 3 and tinkered into Resident Evil 4, but Nemesis, fantastic villain.
And my next one was just a small little character named Rodrigo Borgia from Assassin's Creed 2. And I think he was in Brotherhood for a little bit. I think he was in both.
Okay.
It's been a while since I played 2 to really remember what happened.
And the follow-up with Nemesis is Albert Wesker from Resident Evil as well. Taking out over. Okay, what you got?
So my next one was from a fairly recent game. It was Colton Khan from Ghost of Tsushima.
See, because I knew there
it's almost like we have similar tastes in video
but
games.
I knew you were gonna pick. I knew we were gonna pick at least 4 that were the same, which leads to Atrox from Halo Wars 2.
So my next one was another good one from a God of War game. It was Aries from the very first God of War.
That's okay. Kudos. That's good. That's good. I went to Devil May Cry 3, and it would be Virgil. Because
Fair enough.
Boy was a good villain. As you play as Dante and it's his brother.
So another one I picked, one that trumps over a character from another character I'd already said, would be Shao Khan.
Just with these cons, though.
With the cons.
With the cons, though.
I mean, you've got Khan in the name, you're bad. So, hey.
And one, you know, because I believe we need to have, you know, at least Side Tinkerer. She's the only real female on here.
True.
I'm going with Lady Dimitrescu from Resident Evil Village.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, now I gotta come up with a reserve one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Good luck with that.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Now, if you want, Lord Brock is here.
That is true. Do you have any inputs on who a final one could be? Well, final one for me.
If I was picking, I don't know what you've all done so far, but I would.
Well, just say one.
Saren from Mass Effect.
I don't think we've said that.
No, we haven't.
So we haven't. Look at you contributing.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Only wants to wipe out all.
All right, and for the last one, give us another.
Oh man, I can't remember her name, but she's in Knights of the Old Republic 2.
Not Revan.
No, you said she.
No,
right?
she's the old lady. She's like gray.
We Google. We're just
I
about to
can't
Google.
remember.
We're just about to Google.
I think she's blind. She's like one of your trainers. But she was a Sith. So that would be a bad guy.
Correct. And at least not in the same tier as Darth Vader. In this bracket. In this bracket. In the bracket.
Yeah.
Do either of the names Treya, Scion?
Treya.
Treya. Traya.
Yeah, Treya. Because she's like that manipulative evil.
All right, we have our bracket.
We've got a 32.
Okay, so we have Zeus against Ganon. We have Bulger versus Mr. Lee. We have Shang Tsung versus Sephiroth. We have Dr. Nefarious versus Ridley. We have Doc Ock versus Scholar Vasari. We have Silas versus Big Boss. Neo Cortex versus the Gravemind.
This is like a mythical battle. Neo Cortex is going to fight the Gravemind.
Makarov versus the Joker. Man, that's a good one. Bowser versus Darth Vader.
Who wins in a fight?
We have the Origami Killer versus Tinkerer. We have Lance Vance versus Nemesis. Rodrigo Borgia versus Albert Wesker. We have Colton Khan versus Atrox. Aries versus Virgil. Shao Khan versus Lady Dimitrescu.
That's a matchup.
And Siren versus Trey.
Okay.
All right. Do you like what you've heard thus far?
It's a big pile of bad guys.
Yeah. So we're going to start at the bottom left.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with Doc Ock beating Vasari just because Vasari's quick and Killzone 2 really teleporting a lot, but I feel that Doc Ock was able to pinpoint Peter's speed in Spider-Man at the end of 2018, and very manipulative as well. And Doc Ock didn't die, as to whoever sorry, just got. So that's my thought.
I mean, I would argue for Doc Ock as well. Not because he's my pick, not because he was my pick, but no, I mean, he was the mastermind behind the, if you want to call it the Sinister Six of Spider-Man 2018. Just behind all the scenes was doing all this stuff where it's just like, oh, he's just trying to keep his lab going so he can help the future people that need prosthetic arms and whatnot. And then it turns out he releases COVID before COVID on New York City.
And on Aunt May.
And Aunt May, yeah, absolutely. And then just ends up being this guy was your idol as you were Peter, because you loved, as Peter says, loved his mind. He was such a smart person, and then just totally took that, flipped it to the other way around. So Doc Ock would have to be my vote.
Doc Ock all the way.
Okay, you're the deciding vote.
Giant metal arms for the win.
Silas versus Big Boss. You already know what I'm going to say. So I'm going to let you go ahead and speak your mind.
Well, so I have no experience with Big Boss, so I feel like I can't really put much input into this one.
Okay.
Because you said that was from Killzone?
Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear, yeah, I never played those. See?
Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, I never played those.
For him to last this long and have a huge crowd of a foxhound of onslaught of
It always
Psycho.
comes back to Big Boss.
Yeah, right, exactly. I mean, he pretty much faked his death as well. He's just the epitome of a manipulative bad guy and just so good. He's just that, like, Sifu final level, like Yang, if you will. Like, you want to get to him, but you're always finding ways that you can't get to him.
I mean, I'm totally cool with moving him forward, because the only thing I could even say about Silas is when he popped in my head is, like, he's a little manipulative because he's just got this ulterior motive, and he's cool with someone doing something else for him to get there. But he's definitely not anywhere on, like, top tier like some of these other people. So I'm cool with that choice for sure.
I'd say Big Boss. It's pretty cool because they're both mental enemies, but when it comes down to a fight,
Big Boss is hand to hand.
Yeah.
Neo Cortex with a big N on his forehead versus the Grave Mind,
which controls the flood.
Yeah, like he has them doing their bidding, just like he just sends them out, and it's just wave after wave after wave, and especially in a Halo environment, U.S. Master Chief, you don't have anybody tag in. I mean,
Cortex just tried to
right.
work on a Bandicoot. That went wrong.
Like, I'm smart. You're dead.
I think this one's an easy choice. I really do.
Final all right.
Yeah. When I think Gravemind, I think the Flood, followed by the library level on the original Halo, which is like tense, nail-biting action.
Yeah.
Makarov versus
Makarov
the
versus
Joker.
the Joker.
So I honestly will make the argument for the Joker. I don't know how you can argue against that. I mean, Makarov was like, he was a ruthless killer because, you know, his kind of main thing with Modern Warfare 2, the mission No Russian, you know, you shoot up the airport and then frames it on the American who is working undercover, and that's what kind of escalates into the World War III in Modern Warfare 3. But the Joker, I mean, he's just ruthless. I mean, he will play those mind games. He does not care. And then even, I mean, he's just, in my opinion, miles over what Makarov does. Makarov was just kind of a military guy as for the Joker's.
Yeah.
And Makarov is very...
pure chaos.
Yeah, exactly.
He's army-based. He's very thinking 2 steps ahead. Chess moves, if you will. But the Joker, just like Doc Ock, was spreading that venom, that mist to cause, you know, Arkham Asylum to turn crazy and the inmates to be insane and go after Batman in swarms. But the beautiful thing about Batman, he's got gadgets and he's taking everybody out. But even looking at that, looking at him in Injustice as DLC, looking at him as in Mortal Kombat as DLC, and just seeing even more of a sinister, ruthless killer dark side that the Joker should be, and that we've seen in the comics as well. You know, even the Killing Joke. So I feel like all of that encapsulates the Joker in the video games and in the Arkham series, along with other WB games. The Joker would be my pick.
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
100%.
Fair.
Joker out of the way.
Yo ho ho. Alrighty. We're gonna go to the bottom tier on this side, and it's gonna be Colton Khan versus Atrox. Oof. Okay, so Colton Khan is ancestor of Genghis Khan. And Genghis Khan is very much ruthless, just like you'll see in Ghost of Tsushima. I like how it took forever. Like, you fight him at the beginning, and then it takes forever for you to finally get to him at the end. because so many things are happening with Jin that it's like you just barely are getting there. But I would go with Atrox. He's just so big and just like beating everything down, and he's just like that unfair final villain. You just like, I can't beat you. So that would be my pick, even though he was one of my picks, but he would be my second pick to advance. He'd be my pick to advance. Okay.
I mean, again, I have no experience with Aatrox, so I can't make a fair argument against my pick. So,
do you feel that Khan is strong and burly?
I mean, he was a big dude for sure, and he was definitely ruthless. But like I said, I don't know much. I mean, it depends on the combat, I guess, because Khan was good with weapon combat. But
Atrox has a gravity hammer. He's like 8 foot tall.
Yes.
Khan also had like one dude wipe out his whole Mongol army and then fight him. So I feel like a gravity hammer probably would beat him.
Yeah. Well, Atrox had Master Chief wipe out his army, so.
Okay, well, fair.
Also just one man.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, I would argue Master Chief is a level above Jin.
Yes, this is
I'd
true.
say even given their armies, Atrox would still come out on top.
Yeah.
I have no arguments.
Okay. Atrox proceeds to the next level. This one is good. Okay. Aries versus Virgil. Man. Okay, so I'm going to start. Aries, like, morphed like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers when Rita was like, let my monster grow! Like, he just, like, morphed up. And I'm impressed that he was smart enough, just like Doc Ock and Joker, to be mindful and manipulative to trick Kratos into going to a village to kill his wife and daughter. And then for Kratos to snap out and realize what he just did. And it's just like, dang it, you're a bastard. You're pretty evil. So Aries is really good. I wish he could have been in 3 because I would have really enjoyed to see his death in 3, especially the beginning of Poseidon.
You see him in 3. He's just frozen
I don't want
in the ground.
Yeah,
but you see
imagine
him.
how high def he could have been. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. Virgil is great because he's Dante's brother. He matches Dante to a T. He actually took Dante's pendant and used it to do even more evil, to be sinister because, you know, Dante is half and half. And Virgil's like, I can do that as well, and I can do it better. So,
My vote is Aries.
I know your vote is
My vote is Aries. I mean, he was a god after all.
He is a god. But
And the only reason Kratos was even able to kill him was because of Pandora's box.
this is true.
It's the only way for
I
a
mean,
mortal
once
to
you
kill a
unleash
god.
that box, then all hell breaks loose.
And then proceeded to kill the rest of Greece.
I really like Aries. What is your thought?
Aries.
Okay.
Like, Virgil's impressive, but like you said, Aries is a god.
Aries is a god.
Yeah.
And he had the like little spider things that would come out of his back. I mean,
Yeah. That is by far the hardest one so far, I'd say.
Yeah. Shao Khan versus Lady Dimitrescu. I'm going with Lady.
really?
I'd go
She
Lady all
morphs.
the way.
She
Okay.
morphed. She morphed.
She did. That's
she
right.
morphed.
Yep, she did.
Shao Khan never morphed.
He didn't.
And
Unless you count Annihilation, then he morphed into that dragon.
But he just got obliterated in 2, though. Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah, true. No, that's I forgot about her
Like,
transforming into.
yeah, she. Yeah.
That's fair. I don't think there's an argument anymore. I think that's it.
All right, so Serene versus Treya. I mean, Knights of the Old is a fantastic game. I haven't spent hours like I want to.
I'm just gonna pick anybody that knows lightsaber and the Force stuff. I feel like you just have like an ultimate competitive edge over anybody if you have a lightsaber and can use the Force.
Survey says. Yeah. So yeah, I will go with Traya.
Which two is it? It's,
Traya and
Serene.
not familiar.
From Mass Effect.
Oh, Saren.
Yeah.
Saren.
Oh, Saren.
Yeah, Saren. That's why I was like, I don't know who you're talking about. Man. I feel like them apart from each other, they could have probably gone the distance, but against each other, I'd say she'd beat out Saren.
Okay.
He was very cybernetic. So you got that Darth Vader Force lightning's going to shut you down.
Like Raiden from Metal Gear.
Yeah, yeah. It's like the minute you introduce electricity to his body,
it was super effective.
Yeah, exactly. It was super effective.
Your Pokemon has failed.
Critical hit.
Your Pokemon have failed.
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna go to the top, which is Zeus versus Ganon. Man, Ganon has the Triforce of Power. It's like an Infinity Stone. But to your argument, without saying it, Zeus is a god. Zeus is a god. And he sent Kratos straight to hell. Did not pass go. Did not collect $200. Went straight to hell.
Yep.
And what was the Blade of Olympus?
And he did something that most people don't do against Kratos. He lasted 3 games.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming we're in unison there, Zeus.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you make it past 1 game against Kratos, I'll give it to you. He did it twice, and almost 3 times.
Oh man, this is good. Okay. Just because of what's going to happen after this one. Bulger versus Mr. Lee. I know Bulger because he's in the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
He just would not. He would not.
Would not.
It's like, stay down.
No.
I'm not ready. I mean, Mr. Lee is nice as Mr. Negative. Able to control the negative zone as well.
Absorb powers from other... Or not powers, but... I guess energy. Yeah, from anyone around him or anything. But
Bulger's just he's just undefeated.
Well,
I meant at the beginning.
Yeah.
It was just like your life. Where's your life bar at, bro?
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, he can't feel pain, so what is Mr. Negative going to throw at him?
Until you met Daddy.
I mean, energy, but is it going to hurt him?
Until you met Daddy Kratos.
He's going to wear him out.
And he's like...
True.
Shang Tsung versus Sephiroth. Picture is already behind Lord Brock. Sephiroth. That long sword.
Yeah. Keep him at...
Right, you can't
distance.
suck my soul. You can't take my soul if you're so far away.
Yeah.
That is a good point.
And, I mean, he got ousted by Chronica. Should have been on this list, but...
Yeah, but... Chronica wasn't really like a staple in Mortal Kombat. Like, she's in the new one and cool, but...
Yeah.
She's not cool with Shang Tsung or Shao Khan.
Cause
I mean, I would pick Goro over her.
Oh, yeah.
I'd probably pick Shiva. I don't know. No, I wouldn't.
Yeah. I'm going Sephiroth.
Yeah, that's... Yep.
Because he killed Aries. Like, that was sad. That was like, I don't know if I want to keep playing this game. I leveled that up so much, with so much magic and so much ether. And then he just comes down. I'm like, no! Dr. Nefarious versus Ridley from Metroid.
I don't
This is a purple dragon that is like skinnier than Charizard, but as angry as Charizard. Versus a mechanical comedic Nefarious that tries to loop through time. That can't.
Look, Nefarious is annoying, but he's not beating a dragon.
Oh no,
he's not beating a dragon.
Not
he did good to steal the Dimensionator, but
yeah, exactly. All right, and then the final of the first round is going to be Bowser versus Darth Vader. We already know.
We already know.
Doesn't matter how badly you love Bowser. Darth Vader's winning.
Fight would be over before it started.
Although, I mean, I'm still in agreement with Darth Vader, but although lightsabers cannot deflect fire, so Bowser would, in a sense.
Yeah.
But Darth Vader's already been burned and
Bowser
survives.
has to breathe.
Right. That fortune.
And Vader loves fortune.
He does. Alrighty.
The Origami Killer versus the Tinkerer.
So,
That's a good one.
It's a good one, but for me, there's also a lot of like certain scenarios that would have to take place. Because for them to go up against each other, I mean, the thing with the Origami Killer was he took people's sons and had them in drains and almost kind of like a Saw sort of deal, where the parents, usually the father, would have to sacrifice body parts or do something to try to get their son. Tinker does not have a son, so what does the Origami Killer have on her?
So the Origami Killer does everything sacretive, mapping out everything, he or she, and has no one working with them.
Right.
As to where Tinker has a bunch of hoodlums
True.
that are doing her bidding, that knows about the tech as well, has her own club underneath as well, that Miles gets to see. So the Tinkerer never really goes down. Miles gets a couple of hits and everything, and then she puts the body damage to him, has him coughing up blood like...
She doesn't go down. Last thing she did was go up.
This is true.
Very high.
She glowed up.
She blew up. She had a glow up.
She's a firework.
Yeah. I mean, just thinking about it rationally, I would think the Tinker would.
She has more hand-to-hand combat.
More hand-to-hand combat, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
More skilled and, like I said, because the Origami Killer's got that mind game going of, you know, I have X person, I have your child or whatever, and you just got to do this to save them or they're gonna die. Tinker's like, cool, I don't have a son. I'm like 15.
Right. And the Origami Killer was beefier, so was able to, you know, do some damage to.
Yeah, try getting
average
punched by
people.
a metal
right,
bionic.
Exactly. Yeah, that's yeah.
Or the death wheel she throws out when you fight her at the end. Yeah, have fun with that.
KO.
Yeah, you're beefier now. You're just a bigger target for a death wheel.
You lose. So that's who I picked. Tinker.
I would pick Tinker for sure. Like Origami is a different villain than normal that you'd see, but in a fight, not happening.
Lance Vance versus Nemesis. This is a
Not a
biomutant
Weapon.
indestructible, that has a rocket launcher. So I definitely remember playing Resident Evil 3. I remember playing 4. I remember playing Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and seeing his super finisher where he'll just 5 different to your character, the opponent's character, or yourself, you're fighting. So it's just like not even fair. So I'm gonna go with Nemesis.
Yes,
because Grand Theft Auto is fun, but I mean you're dealing against a twisted entity. All right, Rodrigo Borgia versus Albert Wesker.
I can't really make an argument for Rodrigo. Like, he was a cool villain because he was the overarching theme or overarching villain for Assassin's Creed 2, but he had people do stuff for him. Mm-hmm. He never really did things himself. Granted, he did come into power and become the Pope by the end of the game, but he doesn't really do things himself, and then all the people that he had doing stuff for him were assassinated by Ezio, so he really has no one going for him anymore. So I really can't. I mean, he was a good villain because he's one of those that every time he showed up on the screen, you hated him and you wanted to kill him right then, right there, but you couldn't until later in the game. And he was a staple point in Assassin's Creed games before they've transitioned to their newer style, but I really couldn't make an argument of him winning that fight.
Yeah. I'm so down with Wesker.
I mean, the only thing you could say is at a certain point before he lost it, he did have the Apple of Eden, which was a super Infinity Stone thing. Yeah, but
Wesker is just like the carbon demonic entity of Jill Valentine, and just heinous and sinister and T-virus and
there's
and
no
quick,
argument.
and just so quick.
There's no argument for me on
he's
that.
So quick, Lord Brock.
Wesker.
Okay. So that completes the
first round.
That first round. Do we want to see it to the end? That sounds like a yes to me.
Whatever y'all want to do.
I don't care.
Yeah.
If you want to keep it going,
I do. I do want to keep it going because I want to see. I want to see where this leads up against. So we'll go bottom, and we'll go with Doc Ock versus Big Boss. It was nice knowing Doc Ock. He's a good man.
Was he a good man? Was he?
Otto
was a good man.
Yeah,
Doc
Otto.
Ock was not.
I'm just saying, when he was like, Peter, help me. I'm sorry.
Nah, he wasn't. He wasn't sorry. He was manipulative still.
Right.
No.
But
By Doc Ock.
Big Boss is that dude. He's that damage, and he's iconic, and he's lasted for so long too. Longevity.
No arguments.
Yeah, Doc Ock becomes Revolver Ocelot in this scenario.
Right, yes.
And Big Boss is taking him out.
The Grave Mind versus the Joker. I'm gonna go with the Grave Mind because the Joker's good, but then if we look at Arkham Asylum, he used too much of that caused him to get big, and then
The Venom.
Yeah, that Venom, and then just die. And then Harley's like, oh my Joker, Mr. J. So he's not smart enough to realize where he needs to stop and take a seat and then recoup, think out the plan completely. Now, if he had the mind like the Riddler, and then if he was twisted like the Joker, that would be a good matchup. But that's not what's happening. So I'm going the Grave Mind.
I would second that.
Okay. Lord.
I believe we have a third.
Yeah. I think the Joker would go too far with the joke and fail.
Fair.
So yeah, Grave Mind all the way.
Okay. We have Zeus versus Bulger. Yeah.
See, that one's tough because you can't use the God excuse now. Because they both were. I mean, I would go with Baldur. Reason being, gods can kill other gods, but Baldur is invulnerable to anything, even from other gods. So if Zeus does not know what makes Baldur vulnerable, then him fighting is moot. But Baldur would be able to kill him.
But Zeus is so...
Wasn't he like an alpha god, though? Wasn't he like...
In the Greek pantheon, he was
so
the...
like...
Yeah, but he was also killed by a demigod, which was Kratos. Now he's fighting a full-blown...
Yeah.
But Zeus is smart, unlike the Joker, where he's able to recoup and think of a master plan to take you out. Just like in 2, he was like, boy, I'm coming down to Earth. Blades of Olympus, use your own weapon against you.
He did.
Took his own powers away from him as well, and then sent him straight to hell.
That is true.
I'll see you when I see it.
Zeus finding a way to capture Baldur. He doesn't have to kill him. He just has to stop him.
But is he going to stop Baldur before Baldur?
I think Baldur's just using his rage too much in the match instead of thinking it through.
Yeah. I think he would blindly just keep going at it, where Zeus will be like, what?
I'll be outvoted. Yeah,
I think
it's just...
I'm going to stand firm, but I'll be outvoted. There's no hate towards that.
No, there's not.
I think that Zeus has...
I picked both of them, so I don't care.
I think Zeus has the brains to win. So.
Okay. Sephiroth versus Ridley. one swipe and Sephiroth is killing Ridley. One swipe, just done. This is a death match. Done.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that's easy.
All right, now we go up here.
This one's easy.
Who is it, Vader?
And the Tinkerer. Darth Vader versus the Tinkerer. I don't think we need to discuss. Tinkerer. No, I'm just kidding. Darth Vader wins it.
Wins it by a milestone. Yeah. Nemesis versus Albert Wesker. And Nemesis is not its own thinking entity. It wants to do.
It's just a.
But it's just an organism.
It's a point and pull the trigger.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a hitman.
Yeah.
Yeah. As to where Albert Wesker is the one that commands and sends the calculated chess moves to make everything work the way he wants to. That's why he went after Jill. He didn't care about Carlos or Leon or any of the Resident Evil squad and just went straight for Jill because he knew that was his main match. And so anybody else, he'll just obliterate and take them out. And like I said, that T-Virus is just... Oh, no! So that would be my pick.
I would second.
Excellent. So we go down to Atrox versus Aries. Wow. Okay, so because he did so well in the last one, he's just fighting heavy hitters. Ooh. But he has that gravity hammer, though. He has that...
You said versus Aries?
Yes.
Versus Aries.
He's mortal. He's a monkey with a hammer at that point. He'd be fighting Donkey Kong.
Aries is still a god.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think there's even that much of a debate. I think Aries would destroy Atrox.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, he can grow.
Say Aries got pretty massive. So.
When he's Aries.
He was the god of war.
Yeah. All right, Lady Dimitrescu versus Traya. Lightsaber action all the way.
I have a hard time voting against a lightsaber. You can use the Force. I mean, because it's not beyond the imagination that Force users have beaten massive things. Because even though Lady D can transform,
yeah,
I mean, Starkiller brought down an entire Star Destroyer in the Force Unleashed.
Yeah,
so
Sith Arts versus whatever she is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vampire, zombie girl.
Something.
Yeah, zombie something.
Because, I mean, like I said, you have the Force, and then they know how to, like, throw their lightsaber, so they still have distance. And
yeah. The whole trying to scare you isn't going to work.
No.
It's just going to be like, I'm a Sith.
Yeah. Have you read my resume?
Yeah. That's one of the things that gives me power.
I would have to.
So we'll go back to the top. Semifinals of Darth Vader versus Albert Wesker. Darth Vader's just so strong and so seasoned and has learned under so many people of your Obi-Wan. He's seen Yoda.
I just think of that Rogue One hallway scene.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's coming after you.
And then I think of Fallen Order when he's in the walkway and the water comes in and he just stops the water.
Right,
like it's nothing, just...
Yeah, and the game's like, you're not supposed to fight him.
Right.
You're supposed to run.
You are supposed to run.
And in seconds,
it's
you
like
just
your
die.
job is to survive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can't if you try to take him on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised that... oh, wow. Ahsoka held her own against him.
Well, she trained under him.
Right.
So she knows most of his techniques
yeah.
and tactics, yeah.
But yeah, Darth
I would go Darth Vader.
Yeah,
I mean, again, my principle, I can't... It's hard for me to go against someone with a lightsaber. Like,
So we have Big Boss versus Gravemind.
These are two I have no experience with.
I mean,
so
this is Big Boss really having a challenge against him, to where it's just like, all right, I've given you all my minions, and now I have to actually fight you. And wow, okay, I'll let you be the tiebreaker.
Man,
because I'm so torn.
I'm torn. It's like I think if Big Boss could get to Gravemind, he could probably kill Gravemind. Because I don't think Gravemind itself is the threat. It's just this big, blow it up with a rocket launcher entity.
Mm-hmm.
But it's getting past the
waves,
the army
the
of
waves,
the flood,
yes.
of which every soldier you send is now a soldier of the Gravemind. Because that soldier's going to die and then be turned into a
resurrected and
flood soldier, and you're just screwed. So the question is, can he get to Gravemind? Is he doing the classic crawl into a cardboard box and
Shadow Moses
work his way up to the Gravemind to kill it? Man, I feel like if it's a full on
1v1
and he hasn't researched it, I think Gravemind would wear him down, because everything you throw at him is now a tool of the Gravemind.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'd have to go Gravemind.
Okay. I'm down.
I hate saying it.
Yeah, I know, right?
But because it's like,
yeah,
it's the big boss.
Oh man, yeah.
Hurts to type it.
It does, because I don't want to. We have Aries versus Treya.
Literally a god versus a Sith.
That one's tough.
And what weapon did
Aries
Aries
grow?
Yeah.
The argument is Aries can grow. Aries is a god.
Yeah.
The other argument is lightsaber and the Force.
Did he have an axe or a sword?
When you fought him, it was a sword.
It was a sword, yeah. Because you had to grab the sword off of the statue of Kratos to battle against him. I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
And he's got fiery hair. So don't get too close.
He does, yeah.
Don't get too close. I'm going Treya. Because if little bitty Kratos could oust Aries.
Well, that's because Kratos opened Pandora's box.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
You're going Aries.
Well, I'm in a tough spot. Like, I'm arguing both sides because I don't know, but like I'm just kind of arguing if Kratos can do it, if Kratos opened Pandora's box. But then the other part of me is, even though Ares is a god and is immortal, like what happens if like a lightsaber were to cut him? Like, if you cut his head off and like dismember like all of his limbs and stuff, like how does that work? He
can't grow back.
Is he alive just 7 different pieces, or? So that's my tough spot. Like, well, then really, who does?
My argument would be Aries, and that's coming from a big Star Wars fan. Just because, I mean, he's a god.
I do lean more towards Aries.
Pride leads before the fall. Sith are very prideful, and well, I see him turning big and just stepping on her.
See, that was my thing too. Is like, yeah,
like I see him turning to big boy and just stomping on her. It's like at that point, a lightsaber's it's an inconvenience.
Yeah, I would have to vote Aries as well.
Okay.
So
okay.
that.
Yeah.
As I'm with you, I love Star Wars too, but I'm like, but Aries is.
So we go to another god, which is Zeus versus Sephiroth.
Zeus versus Sephiroth.
So Sephiroth is as quick as Zeus. Sephiroth is very quick. Sephiroth has a single blade. Sephiroth is the son of Genova.
Zeus is a god.
Zeus is the god of gods. He's god of lightning. He got ousted. With multiple heavy bludgeon punches to the face.
With multiple presses of circle.
They were just blood blood splattered. But there's your God argument, though, of him being almighty, if you will.
I'm not super familiar with Sephiroth, so.
Okay, all right. I mean, he's not.
I know
he's not a god.
Loves him, even though he's a bad guy.
Yeah, yeah. He's just very quick. He plays mind games.
He's got a long sword.
He has the longest sword of them all. And they have a song after him as the One-Winged Angel.
Which is a finisher.
It is a finisher. Get that R1.
Yeah. Hit him with the One-Winged Angel. Nobody gets out.
Nobody gets out.
Very protected.
Very protected.
So you would be leaning Sephiroth?
The reality is I'm picking Sephiroth, but I know who's going to win, which would be Zeus, because it's kind of like that argument of Aries versus Traya. So
I'm okay to default to whatever, because I don't know as much about Sephiroth either. So.
Yeah,
I know
he's a big baddie and and he's love/hate.
Partialness and my bias would be towards Zeus, just because I know more about him. But I'm okay to default to whatever.
It's not what do you want; it's what you think is going to happen.
I think Zeus would win. I think Zeus would win.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. I think Zeus
got
would
lightning bolts and feet to step on people with.
So, you are the tiebreaker.
Oh man, that's horrible. You're gonna make me say it.
I am.
It's got to be Zeus.
Because I knew you were gonna say it.
Yeah.
And I don't even like Zeus like that. Though. Like I hated Zeus.
Make the Sephiroth people hate me. It's okay.
Okay, it's okay. They'll get over
We'll
it.
protect you.
We'll protect you.
We'll protect you.
We'll protect your finisher. We'll protect your finisher. All right. We'll go back to that one. We'll go to Zeus versus Gravemind. I think Zeus would quickly get to Gravemind.
Oh yeah, just lightning bolt
Like
after
that.
lightning bolt after lightning.
Yeah, just lay them down.
Yeah.
A heap of
And
destruction.
Zeus isn't going to bring an army with
No.
him, so he doesn't need.
He
He just got to burn them down, and then the Gravemind.
Yeah, he's like, it's lunchtime.
Yeah, Gravemind had a good run. But
He
it's
had a great run against.
So
It's
it's
Neo.
Darth Vader and Aries.
Yeah, correct.
Darth Vader and Aries.
Because this was y'all's.
2 back to back. We have to go against.
This was y'all's Star Wars. I know who I picked.
Who do you pick?
Darth Vader. You said that hallway scene.
Yeah,
I know,
but
But I'm just saying, if Vader can get Aries.
So Ares is the god of war, not the god of lightning. So
Yes, correct. No, I understand that.
Vader don't have to worry about his suit getting shorted out.
true.
Oh man.
But then Aries is still a god and can grow. Man, this should have been the.
But he's only really doesn't he breathe oxygen?
Yeah.
Who? Oh, Aries?
Is he going to be overconfident and not realize that this dude in a black suit has a sword that can cut through
True.
almost anything?
True.
Yeah. Does Aries know about Wesker?
That is a good point.
That's karma.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, yeah, I can sway to Darth Vader.
Yeah.
I can sway.
I'd say he would go in there cocky and Vader would kill him. Because Vader doesn't care about flavor. Just chop his head off.
Yeah.
He'd be like, done. I don't care. I don't need to prove anything. I think Aries would showboat.
All right, here we go. Woo-hoo! Zeus, the Almighty,
Does Vader take down 2 gods
versus
in a row?
Darth Vader. Hoo-wee.
I mean, I know what you're thinking, and it's making me think the same thing.
Lightning.
Lightning. I mean, it's God of Lightning.
Yeah.
Like,
But
Vader's-
Vader has Force Lightning.
no,
Vader can't
Oh, no,
use lightning.
He can't use it.
Yeah. Okay.
Vader's suit was built specifically to like hurt him and be weak to lightning.
Yeah. All it takes is one lightning bolt from super far away.
Yeah,
because Zeus can throw lightning bolts like darts, and he's just gonna.
You're
square in the little
earlier
buttons thing he has there.
Yeah,
his chest piece and.
Yeah, your argument.
And then you've got episode 6 all over again.
Yeah, he's weak to lightning all over. I mean, unfortunately, in that scenario, I don't see.
Wow, yeah.
I don't see Vader winning and he's not even going to be like, oh, I didn't know. He's just going to be like, lightning bolt. That's what I do. Lightning bolt. Oh, it just so happens you're weak to lightning. More lightning bolt.
It's super effective.
Yeah, exactly. As I was saying, your argument earlier is super effective.
Yeah, that's true. Because
you saw how short he lasted.
Nurse
the
Joy.
upside down lightning from Palpatine. And he's getting hit with god level lightning at that point.
Yeah. and then even if you want to get to the argument of if he got close enough and it got into like a sword fight, if you will, with his lightsaber, if you think about, in the movies with Star Wars, like they can deflect lightning, but we've also seen Sith and stuff push lightsabers back with lightning. So Zeus, all he has to do is just bring out like his own version of like a lightning lightsaber.
I was gonna say, doesn't he use like lightning as a sword at one point?
Yeah, so then it's like, even if you do get close enough to him, he's got lightning all around. So
and he doesn't even have to get near him. I mean, he can
No.
just sit up there on that mountain and just go, yep.
Yeah.
And in God of War 3, he was quick, where he grabbed you and pushed you up against the wall.
I love Darth Vader.
Raid and teleport.
Yeah, I love Darth Vader, but...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but Darth Vader's not quick. That's one thing I forgot.
Speed doesn't necessarily matter when it's lightning.
True. True.
Yeah.
Man, okay.
I think
so there's our winner. The man we call Zeus. Wow, that was good.
That was fun.
That was fun. We thank our guest here, Lord Brock.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Wouldn't have had it any other way.
No.
This was fun. We'll have more of these intricate type of settings, if you will. But hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Turn on those notifications. Leave some comments in the comment section what your favorite villain is in the video game world. We'd like to know. And, can they take on Zeus? Villain, not hero, not protagonist.
Don't say Kratos. We know he
Don't
can.
say Kratos, right. Spoiler alert.
No cheating.
No cheating. He was a villain, but then he became a good guy. So he's a baby face. But we thank y'all very much. Until then, we will see you when we see you. Peace.